Hey everybody, Dirili here. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Code Realize, Guardian of Rebirth. We are now definitely officially on Impey's route because I was informed that when you are on somebody's route, when you go to the save screen, that person's picture shows up. So now my save pictures are showing up Impey. So clearly I am on his path. So we'll see if I end up getting his good path or his bad ending. We are now in Nemo's lair, and I'm a little worried because he said he was going to talk about issues in the morning, and I'm worried that he did that because because he figured out the deal with Cardia and might actually try to do something to her in the night, like imprison her and then do away with Impey or something. But we shall see. So let's get back into things. You can just sit back, relax, and let old lady Dirili here read you a story. After a while, Impey and I are shown to different rooms. The room's layout is very similar to the room we had been speaking in. There are no windows, so I can't tell, but I think night is approaching. I'm in a daze, and what Nemo said is still swirling around in my head. I look down at my own glove-covered hands. I'm just a tool. I'm merely a soulless doll. I'm already used to being called a monster. There's a deadly, murderous poison within me, and I've actually killed someone I cared for. I deserve to be called that. But the emotions within me and my sad feelings about everything that has happened, those emotions were my heart and soul, something only I could feel. That's what I had thought. But even those are artificial and fabricated. Are all my emotions false? Is even all the pain and suffering I feel in my heart right now fake? The warmth of Impey's hand over mine. Just remembering it makes a tender emotion spread throughout me. I don't want to think that it could be false. I wonder how Impey's doing. Thinking about him makes my mind go back to something that had happened in the past. When we confronted Finis, Impey had said, "The only person who can decide what your true form and true identity is you." Those words have supported me. But now, I don't think I can continue trusting even myself. I want to hear Impey's words. I feel like the doubts and confusion that put my heart at unease will all go away if I see him close and hear his voice. I leave my room and walk through the metallic hall. The sound of steam and the sights around me are all very strange, but I don't even have room in my mind to be surprised. I want to see Impey, and that feeling gets stronger and stronger.
Yes, that's right. She is the only successful sample.
I knew it, he figured it out. As I advance through the hall, I suddenly hear Nemo talking.
And to think that the miraculous homunculus would come to me of its own accord. Yes, of course I checked. The glow of that horologium in the smoke.
Nemo's voice, which had started from a distance, is gradually coming closer. I look around in a panic and quickly find the closest hiding spot available.
So very splendid. Now we have the item in our hands. The homunculus is here as well. We can proceed with the plan. I'm very grateful for all of you.
What is this plan he's speaking of? And the homunculus he's referring to, that must be me. I wonder who he is speaking with. I cautiously peek out from the shadows to see. And I am speechless when I see who is standing next to Nemo. A Twilight soldier.
Well, well, well. I have to thank you for providing everything, from the personnel to the funding. I should be able to show you the results of my research very soon.
Nemo is connected to Twilight somehow. Twilight is after me, and he knows that I am a homunculus. I remember what Lupin had said, that I am the trigger to an international terrorist plot that Twilight is planning. I don't know the exact reason why, and I have no idea how Twilight perceives me now that Finis is gone. But I can't risk getting caught. I wait for the two men to pass me by, then run towards Impey's room. After turning a few corners, I see the door to the room Impey was shown to. Impey! Impey! Wake up! Something's happening! I dash inside the moment the door unlocks, and I grab Impey's hand as he rubs his eyes.
What brings you here so late? Are you here to put a move on me? I know it's hard, but I think I'm ready to run with this love.
Where do you come up with this stuff? That's not why I'm here. Could he still be half asleep? I hastily stop Impey as he begins to take off his clothing.
Yeah, he's half asleep alright, because if he tried anything, he would freaking melt. Just messing with you. I'll save all the passionate loving for when your poison's been all treated.
I'm telling you, that's not why I came here. Please, focus.
Then, is it about what Nemo said earlier?
It seems like he's finally waking up, as his expression turns slightly serious, and he gently strokes my hair. Impey places his hand on my shoulder and looks at me kindly.
It's alright. No matter what I hear, it doesn't change my feelings about you at all.
Thank you. I really appreciate that, but that's not why I came here either.
Huh? Why then? Are you really here to proclaim your love for me? Well, fine. Even if this body melts away, I shall live up to your great passion.
Ugh, that's not what I mean. I rush to stop Impey as he tries to take off his clothes again.
Cut it out, Impey!
Nemo is connected with Twilight. They know I'm a homunculus too. We need to get out of here now, Impey.
Oh, right! But how? When did this happen?
As we rush to get out of the room, I hear the door lock.
We're trapped? Take this!
Impey kicks the door, but it doesn't budge. Move, Impey. I'll melt the lock. As I stand in front of the door and get ready to remove my gloves, a piercing static sound hurts my ears.
Testing, testing, testing. Is that Nemo's voice? Where is that guy? I'm watching you from a different room.
The voice seems to be coming from a tube in the corner of the ceiling. Seeing as he has somehow reacted to Impey's question, Nemo is probably using some sort of device to listen to this room.
Don't take this the wrong way. For my research to bear fruit, I just need the horologium.
What do you want to use it for?
Well, you see... I'm trapped in a room with her? What? Why'd you say it like that?
Impey's shout cuts Nemo off.
What can I do to seize this delectable opportunity to get closer to her? What?
Impey, this is no time for joking.
You are too funny. Never a dull moment, eh? Shut it! Look who's talking!
Impey takes a deep breath, then looks up at the speaker with seriousness in his eyes.
Hey, Nemo. I don't think you want to get me too mad. When I'm angry, I could get a little scary. You won't like me when I'm angry. Well, then, let's see it. Show me this fierce anger.
With these words, I hear a strange sound coming from the corners of the room. The subtle smell. I feel like Victor taught me about this. As I think, the smell gets stronger and stronger. Ah, that's right. Sleeping gas.
Now, how are you going to resist this? Let's see what the world's best engineer is capable of. Whoa, hold on. Pretty please, let's talk about this. Mr. Impey isn't very fond of people who try to strong-arm him like this.
Impey says this as he hugs me to protect me from the gas.
Now, it's time to take a little trip to the land of Nod. And when the two of you are awake, I'll show you a brand new horizon for science.
As the effects of the gas begin to take hold, my eyelids get heavier. I'm... Hey...
Cardia, hang in there.
Impey falls to his knees, still holding me in an embrace. At once, I feel myself fall into the deep recesses of unconsciousness. Chapter 10. Captured. Darkness. It's pitch black, and I can't see, but I feel a strange weight in my arms. What this weight is, it's painfully clear to me, even though I can't see it. Someone I loved in the past, who I killed. Her life was ruined, all because she got involved with me and felt sympathy for a monster. When I think this, my mouth moves without even thinking about it. But my lips make no sound, the words being sucked away into the infinitely expanding darkness. Even so, I say the same words over and over again. Never ending. Forever and ever. I open my eyes and see a cold metallic ceiling. The noise of heavy machinery reverberates through my body. A dream? I take in my surroundings and realize for the first time that I had been dreaming. Where am I? Why am I here? I drag my heavy head up, trying to raise my body up off the ground, but my hands and feet have been bound, and I can't move them at all. Still a bit drowsy and dazed, and half dreaming, I try to remember everything that has happened. That's right. I was trapped with Impey in that room, and then they put us to sleep with gas. This looks like the place where they hid the Ark of the Covenant. Why am I in a warehouse? Suddenly, I feel a strong pain in my chest, around where the horologium is embedded, and hold my breath. My body snaps forward from the intense pain, but the feeling subsides in an instant. What was that? I notice that my chest is bare, with the horologium in full view. And the horologium... A tiny piece is missing from it. I don't know exactly how the horologium functions in relation to my body. However, I can imagine that my current situation is a very dangerous one. That pain I just felt was probably due to... I look around the room. Like the other rooms we were shown, this one is filled with metallic material. This place is filled with tightly packed rows of metal boxes. Why am I here?
I see your intellectual curiosity has raised a question. I, the genius scientist Nemo, shall answer your question.
I look towards the loud voice in surprise and see Nemo entering the room. Nemo, what's going on? Where's Impey?
Impey Barbicane is still being held in the room you fell asleep in. But not to worry. I guarantee his safety. He's too brilliant to harm. I do acknowledge him. I'm actually thinking of speaking with him to see if he will help me with future inventions.
So, Impey is alright for now. Of course, there's no way to tell if Nemo is actually telling the truth. But for the moment, all I can do is trust that he's telling the truth. What do you intend to do with...
I keep thinking they probably mean him. What do you intend to do with him? Soulless doll, you intrigue me. The sole successful sample of the homunculus experiment. However, the main reason why I have captured you is because of that horologium embedded in your chest.
The horologium.
That stone carries an immense amount of energy. Even a tiny piece is enough to completely change the world. Ah, how beautifully it glows. This is what Master Isaac had been working for. A path to the divine beyond modern science.
He suddenly takes out a dagger and tries to dig into the horologium. However, the tip of the dagger turns to steam and sizzles away when it comes into contact with the horologium.
That's marvelous power. As the horologium nears its completed form, anything not poison-proofed is useless.
Completed form.
That's right. If we follow the correct procedures, your horologium will complete transforming into the Philosopher's Stone. Infinite energy, the creation of souls, and even raising the dead will all become possible. The power to raise humanity to the level of the gods is right in front of my eyes.
Those things are impossible.
My, aren't you quite the jokester? The fact that you, a mere doll, are even having this conversation with me is proof of this divine work. Your very existence is evidence that the horologium is the predecessor to the Philosopher's Stone. Furthermore, it affirms that the Philosopher's Stone is indeed almighty.
I am unable to respond to Nemo. Imbuing a doll with life. It's true that such an impossible thing is beyond the scope of human skill. The more I try to fight against that fact, the more my act of refusal works to affirm the power of the horologium.
Now, shall we conduct some verifying experiments as we await the moment of the Philosopher's Stone's birth?
Once the horologium becomes the Philosopher's Stone, he is probably going to take it from me. If the horologium is my life source, the moment it's taken away, I'll turn back into a silent doll. Just like those 665 versions of me that were in that underground lab.
And I've already got a glimpse of that immense energy possessed by the Philosopher's Stone.
What do you mean?
While you were sleeping, I took a small piece from the horologium, after a great deal of effort. I've proven through an ongoing, large-scale experiment that even a tiny piece gives off an incredible amount of energy.
A large-scale experiment? What could he be talking about?
Just splendid. Don't you think it's splendid? Don't you feel a tremor of joy running through your body?
Nemo looks up admiringly at the ceiling.
Oh, Master Isaac, I shall finally continue the research that you started.
What experiment are you talking about? How are you connected to Twilight? Tell me, Nemo.
Splendid!
Nemo is so far gone into his own little world that my voice doesn't reach him. But this is a chance. Right now, with Nemo distracted, I might be able to escape. I manage to get my glove out of the way and press my skin against my restraints, feeling them start to melt instantly. I can escape, but then what? As the binding melts away, I hear a voice coming from somewhere in my mind. I'm just an artificial doll. The horologium in my chest, my fake heart, aches. Nemo isn't even looking at me. It's as if he's laughing at the very pointlessness of my trying to live. But Impey. I need to save Impey. His face popping into my head. They give me the strength to keep going. Yes! I have one arm free of the bonds now. While Nemo is still looking the other way, I shift my clothes and press my bare skin against the rest of the restraints. Hurry! Hurry!
Now, the time has come for me to show you what this experiment is all about. Huh?
Nemo looks over at me. But it's too late by then.
Huh? What's this? I forgot to poison-proof the binding! I thought that was kind of weird. I thought he would have thought of that.
I'm sorry. Before Nemo can do anything, I hit him hard with my best roundhouse kick.
Ugh!
Nemo tumbles to the ground. He shows no sign of getting up. Did I knock him out? It looks like I got in a good hit. Van Helsing's combat training was truly amazing. I need to hurry. Once I've quickly checked that Nemo is fine, I cover myself back up and start running. Am I really just a lifeless doll? What is Nemo trying to do? And what was he about to explain to me? I continue running, trying to brush off the doubts creeping up on me. First, Impey and I need to escape from this place. That's all I need to worry about. I fix my clothes as I run into the hall, when I hear unfamiliar sounds coming from different directions. What is that? As I wonder to myself, I hear several sets of footsteps approaching. I hide in the shadows and observe. I gulp in a breath when I see the figures. Twilight soldiers appear from both ends of the hall. They acknowledge each other as they pass by, then look around cautiously and keep going their separate ways. Is this sound an alarm? Either Nemo has regained consciousness, or the Twilight soldiers found him. Maybe I should have tied him up and hid him somewhere. I have to get moving. I look around to make sure the soldiers have gone. I step out of the shadows. Since I don't have an idea of the layout of this huge place, I'll just have to run around and hope I find someplace familiar. I quickly look about me and start moving. I make my way forward, taking cover behind things as I go. while doing my best to keep my anxiety at bay. But to my dismay, everything looks the same, and it's difficult to tell where I am. I see many Twilight soldiers while I am running. It's only a matter of time before they find me. Where is Impey? I whisper this to myself just as I'm about to start running again. I hear several people coming from a hallway intersection up ahead. They're heading this way. I hastily try to hide behind a large piece of equipment when a sudden burst of pain originates from the horologium and runs through my entire body. The pain is gone in an instant, but the shock of it causes me to fall to the ground. Luck is not on my side, and the soldiers run towards me when they hear me fall to the floor.
Should I do, they already saw me, can I hide? Let me try to hide, I guess.
I decide not to make any rash moves, and calmly decide to hide myself deep in the shadows. This goes in line with what Van Helsing had taught me. I should avoid unnecessary fighting. No matter how weak the enemy is, if I decide to fight, there is always a chance that I might get hurt or even killed. The best line of defense is to avoid any fights that I can. I stay in hiding, breathing quietly, and listen carefully for the approaching footsteps. The two soldiers eventually appear and stop a little ways ahead of where I am hiding, looking around them. So far, they haven't noticed me. It's just the two of them. I could probably beat them if I catch them by surprise. As if to laugh in the face of my naive thinking, another soldier appears. That was close. If I jumped out to attack the two I'd first seen, I probably wouldn't have noticed the third soldier's arrival. I wait for them all to leave, and after making extra sure that it's safe for me to move, I start running down the hall again, more cautiously than ever. After running through several similar corridors, I finally arrive at a place that looks familiar. If my memory is correct, Impey's room should be down this hallway. I thank my good luck, then run towards a door. Impey, are you there? Impey, I'm here to save you. I peer through the small window in the door and call out into the room.
Oh, Cardia, you're all right. I was so worried.
Impey's hands had been busy with something, but he stops and turns around, smiling. He seems to be completely fine. I exhale, then switch mental gears. I'm fine now, but we have a problem. I'm being chased by Twilight soldiers.
They're chasing you? What? So you put yourself in danger just to come save me? Wow, I didn't know your love for me was that strong.
Huh?
It was love all along. Everything you did was because of your affection for me. Wasn't it, Cardia? Well, I'm already on his path, so I'll just go ahead and say, yes, it was all for love.
Yes, it was all for love. Taken aback by Impey's zealous questioning, I reflexively answer in the affirmative. Impey's eyes sparkle.
Cardia, if that's the case, I shall become a gentleman of love. As a gentleman who loves you, I must save you, no matter what.
Even in a situation like this guy... I can't help but smile, even though I know I shouldn't, considering the situation. Thinking back, Impey has always been like this. I never can tell when he's joking or not, but no matter what the situation, he always shouts his love for me without fail. My empty heart feels warmer somehow, and my cheeks flush slightly. Impey.
And once your poison has disappeared, we shall make sweet, sweet love.
Make love?
It's it's going to be great. I'll have you know that I maintain the ladies just as well as I maintain machines. Oh, good lord.
I don't understand what he means by maintain, and I'm afraid to ask. You know, Impey, can I take back what I said? I'm a little embarrassed.
Whoa, I am so pumped!
He's not listening. Suddenly, I hear a voice from the end of the hall.
There she is, over there! She's trying to help her friend!
They found me. I hastily try to open the door, but of course it doesn't budge. Lupin did teach me how to pick a lock, but unfortunately, there aren't any tools I can use lying around. With no other option, I take my glove off and go in to melt the keyhole, but for some reason, the door doesn't melt and simply stands intact in all its coldness. The poison doesn't work.
He must have poison-proofed it like Victor did. Nemo seemed to have some knowledge of your secret, so it's not too far-fetched to think that he has some countermeasure.
There's no time to calmly analyze this. The Twilight Soldiers are getting closer as we speak. What should I do? What can I...
Cardia, just leave me and go.
I can't do that. I hear him laughing slightly behind the door.
I knew you'd say that. You're definitely my ideal wife. Then, can you get the Twilight guys over here in front of the door?
What are you going to do?
Just trust the genius engineer.
I take my eyes off the door and look towards the end of the hall. The soldiers are already close. As far as I can see, the only weapons they are carrying are swords. I couldn't have done anything if they had guns, but since they only have swords, I can draw them this way. I check to make sure that no one is coming from behind, and take a few steps from the door. I trust you. I take a fighting stance, balancing on the balls of my feet, ready for anything. The two Twilight Soldiers charge forward, as if certain of their victory. Just as they pass in front of the door, "Impey!" As soon as I shout, Impey's door blows off its hinges with a huge explosion. The heavy door slams into the soldiers, knocking them to the floor before they even know what hit them.
How'd you like that? That's the might of Mr. Impey's special improvised steam gun.
Impey steps out into the hallway and tosses aside the complicated-looking device he had been holding. Impey, how did you do that?
I always carry around a portable Neo-steam engine, just in case it might be handy. So, I made a steam-powered gun that builds up pressure to blast objects. By the way, I used the toilet lid as ammunition. I had only one shot with it.
I turn around as he explains it, and see a toilet lid lodged into the wall. Wow, it's got some power. Impey smiles slightly and nods, then... He puts his arm around my waist and pulls me towards him. What's going on, Impey?
Thanks for coming to save me. It made me so very happy. And more than that, thank you for being all right. I'm so glad you aren't hurt.
I look up and see Impey's kind smile. I realize how close we are standing and blink in surprise. Yes, I'm glad you're not hurt either.
You risked all that danger to save me. For love. We can't let that go to waste. All we need to do now is get out of this place.
There wasn't any love, actually.
Listen up. Come at me with all you've got. I have plenty of time to deal with you.
Impey shouts energetically towards the end of the hall. and in response, Twilight soldiers appear in droves from around the corner.
Hey now, I didn't actually mean for all of you to come at once, you know?
Well, what are we going to do, Impey?
It's obvious. Run!
Impey suddenly lifts me up and starts running at a furious pace. While carrying me, Impey widens the distance between us and the Twilight soldiers. Are you all right? Aren't I too heavy?
You're as light as a feather. I have the strength of a vampire and the mind of a genius engineer. And as long as I have your passionate love for me, there's nothing I can't do.
About that love thing. These almost pointless chats with Impey strangely melt my doubts away. I smile, despite myself, then see Impey's expression tighten in surprise as he looks ahead of us. What's the matter, Impey?
Whoa, there's a dead end. This doesn't look good.
I turn to look, and just as he says, the end of the hallway is coming up. But the Twilight soldiers are closing in behind us. There's no other way out. All we can do is keep moving forward. And in no time, we've arrived at the very end of the passageway. What should we do? Impey hems and haws, making a show of thinking for a brief moment.
If we can't go back, we'll just have to break through. I'll clear a path somehow. Then at least you can get out of here.
No, I told you already. We're going to get out of here together. I'm not going to run off on my own.
Cardia.
I guess all we can do is resist them, even though we don't have much of a chance. I brace myself, but Impey, on the other hand, looks around us and grins.
Don't get me wrong, we're going to resist, but I think we stand a pretty good chance against them.
Impey, what are you thinking?
I'm a man. I always come through. Just trust me.
The soldiers approach us, but Impey still has a smile on his face. The sight of him makes me start to feel a little more confident. I'm beginning to understand why everyone trusts Impey with the important tasks, even though they always complain about him. I trust you, Impey. Just as Impey nods to me, the soldiers all draw their swords. At that moment, Impey launches himself at the soldiers.
If you say you love me...
An instant before he clashes with the soldiers, he jumps high into the air.
I can even fly!
He shouts as he performs a spin kick, smashing through a thick pipe that runs along the wall. A white blast of steam burst forth, engulfing the soldiers and filling up the hallway. Within seconds, we're surrounded in a thick, superheated fog.
Oh, it's hot! Ugh, I can't see anything! Calm down. Don't lose the target.
The steam cuts visibility down to 0. As I stand dumbfounded, someone grabs my hand.
Now's our chance. Let's get out of here, Cardia.
Impey and I start running hand in hand, passing through the confused soldiers. I don't know how long we ran for. Impey, look! I point ahead to where the hallway comes to another dead end. But this time, unlike the earlier one, there is a set of doors waiting for us. Could this be our lucky break?
I guess we just have to hope that these doors lead out.
And on that note, we're going to have to stop this video. Next time, we'll have to find out if this is our way out, or if it's another trap, or if we're going to find some new revelation. I'm so sorry that we have to stop there, but it's already been over 40 minutes on my counter, so Well, it'll be a little bit shorter once I cut some things out. But anyway, I'm so glad to have you join me for this reading, and I hope to see you in some of my future videos. I'd be so grateful for any likes, comments, subscriptions, or shares with your friends to show some support. I wish you all health, happiness, and safety. Dirili signing out. Bye bye, everybody.